List View. This tutorial will show you how to set up your list view in the individual and organisation screens. Each screen in Integra has both a form view and a list view. To perform a search or query, you need to be in Form View. Let's start by running a simple query in the Organisations screen. Queries are covered in more detail in a separate tutorial. This query will return all organisation records that begin with the word British and have a main address in London. When your query produces a set of records, you automatically stay in Form View, which allows you to view the full details of each record one at a time. You can see the number of records that have been returned by looking at the white boxes in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You can use the Next and Previous buttons on the toolbar to move between each record one at a time. However, if you want to see these records displayed as a list, click on the List View icon. The very first time you come into List View, the screen will be empty because each user needs to set up their own list view with their own preferred columns and fields. Therefore, the first thing you need to do is customize your list view by adding columns. You can later order them and sort their contents. Right-click on the grey bar directly below the toolbar and this menu will appear. Just about everything you do in List View will involve you right-clicking on this grey bar and using these menu options. Select Add Columns from the menu. The Add Fields pop-up box appears with a list of all available fields or columns that can be selected. To add a column, double-click on each required column name, or highlight one column at a time and click on the Add button. Highlight the company name field and select Add, or double-click on it. You'll see that it now appears in your list view and contains the records that were produced from your query. The Add Columns pop-up box is still visible, so you can continue to add as many columns as you require. Let's add some more columns now. Organisation type, main address town, main address postcode, and main contact display name. You can add as many columns as you like, but remember that it may be hard to read if you have too much data being displayed on your screen. Each column will appear in the order you selected it. However, you can change the order that they appear anytime you like. When you have selected all of your columns, click Close. You can always add more columns at any time by right-clicking on the grey bar directly below the toolbar and selecting Add Columns. Another easy way to add columns is to go to Form View. Find the field you want to add in any of the tabs and right-click on it. This will work for any field that is not part of a table. Right-click on the Organisation Status field and select Add to List View. If you now go back to your list view, the Organisation Status field will be added at the end. You can also change the width of the columns by putting your cursor on the line between the column headings and dragging the columns to the required width. Integra will remember your selection and order of the columns even after you have logged out. Once you have your list set up, you can double-click on any record to take you to the form view for that record. Or if you prefer, you can highlight a record and click on the Form View button. Now let's set up the list view in the Individuals screen. Open the Individuals screen by clicking on the Window menu option and selecting Individuals. Or if the screen is already open, click on it in your taskbar. Let's start by running a simple query in the Individuals screen. This query will return all members who have a main address in the southeast area of London. Queries are covered in more detail in a separate tutorial. Click on the List View icon and remember that it will be blank the very first time you come into it, so the first thing you need to do is add your columns. Right-click on the grey bar directly below the toolbar and select Add Columns from the menu that appears. The Add Fields pop-up box appears with a list of all available fields or columns that can be selected. Highlight the title field and select Add, or double-click on it. You'll see that it now appears in your list view and contains the records that were produced from your query. The Add Columns pop-up box is still visible so that you can continue to add as many columns as you require. Let's add some more columns now. Initials, forename, surname, member status, member class, member grade, and main employer. Remember that you can add as many columns as you like, and each will appear in the order you selected them. When you have selected all of your columns, click Close. You can always add more columns at any time by right-clicking on the grey bar directly below the toolbar and selecting Add Columns. Another easy way to add columns is to go to Form View, find the field or column you want to add in any of the tabs, and right-click on it. This will work for any field that's not part of a table. Click on the Membership tab, right-click on the Date Joined field, and select Add to List View. If you now go back to your list view, the field will be added at the end. You can also change the width of the columns by putting your cursor on the line between the column headings and dragging the column to the required width. It's also possible to remove columns from your list view by right-clicking on the column heading you want to remove and select Remove Column. Remember, you can always add a column back later by right-clicking on the grey bar again and selecting Add Columns. If you want to remove all the columns from your list view, right-click on the grey bar and select Remove All Columns. However, this will remove every column and you'll be left with a blank screen again, so be sure that's what you'd like to do. Choose this option if you want to build your list view from the beginning. If you want to reorder the columns that are displayed in your list view, move your cursor to just beneath the title of the column you want to move, so that it's between the heading and the first row of data until you see this symbol. Then click and drag and drop the column to the required position. When records are returned in Integra, they are not displayed in alphabetical order. They are displayed in the date order that they were entered into the system. Therefore, it's likely that you'll want to sort the data so that it's easier to find the specific record you're looking for. To do a simple sort of the data in List View, right-click on the name of the column you wish to sort by. In this example, we'll sort by surname. Choose Sort Ascending if you want the records sorted in alphabetical order starting at A. Choose Sort Descending if you want the records sorted in alphabetical order starting at Z. The Extended Sort option allows you to sort on more than one column that's displayed in your list view. Right-click anywhere on the grey bar and choose Extended Sort from the menu. When the pop-up window appears, the left-hand window displays all of the columns you have in your list view and that you can sort by. The right-hand window shows you what the sort order is going to be. Select Member Class on the left-hand side and use the arrow to move it to the right-hand side. Do the same with Member Grade. You can change the sort order using the up and down arrows if you need to. Move Surname to the bottom so that the sort order is like this. When you have selected your sort order, click on OK. You can also change the title of the column headings if you wish by right-clicking on the column heading and selecting Change Title. If you're going to use the list of records in your list view for a mail merge or an export or bulk email, and you want to remove some of the rows of data, you can use the Remove from Query option. This won't delete the record from the system, it will only remove it from your query list. Highlight the record you wish to remove by clicking on it. Then right-click and select Remove from Query. You can see that this row has now been removed because your query set has gone down by 1. If you wish to remove more than one record, highlight all of the rows by dragging your cursor over them. Then right-click and select Remove from Query. All of the selected rows will be removed. If you want to include them in your query again, you'll need to run the query from the beginning by going into Form View and performing the search again. To look at any record in the list view in more detail, highlight it and click on the Form View icon, or simply double-click on it. This will take you back to Form View with the record you highlighted. If you want to print your list, click on the Print icon in the toolbar. This will open a browser window and display your list in a very simple report format. You can see that Integra is still open and running in the taskbar. You can print from this browser window by clicking on the Print icon, or selecting File and Print. You can also set up your printing and page preferences from the menu options. If you want to make changes to the report before printing it, you need to return to your list view in Integra by closing down the browser. Then make your changes in List View and click on the Print icon again when you're ready. You'll see that the main employer column has been removed. You can print from here, or you can save the report by clicking on File and Save As. Once the report has been saved, you can email it as an attachment. Close the browser window to return to Integra. A very quick way to get your list into Excel or Word is to simply copy and paste it. To do this, highlight all of the rows in your query set with your mouse, then select Edit and Copy from the menu option, or you can use Ctrl+C on your keyboard. Then open Excel or Word. Select Paste or Ctrl+V on your keyboard. However, you will then need to add the column headings manually. Close Excel or Word to return to Integra.